I think that should be up and running. Does that look right on your end, Kristen? Okay,
Yes.
thanks. Okay, so thanks for hosting this, Gina and everyone at Bethlehem. Today we just wanted to just do a little bit of a Q&A about our virtual high school bakes program. As you may know, we've had our high school bakes program for many years within the Bethlehem School District, but obviously with COVID, we took things virtual. So just wanted to share a little bit about what that virtual actually means. So like I mentioned before, my name is Maggie. I'm the program director at Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Lehigh Valley. I have the good fortune to work with all of our program staff on the delivery of our various programs. So the good fortune of working with all of them. And I'll let Kristen introduce herself as well.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all for hosting and joining us today. I'm Kristen, and I work with our site-based high school BIGS program, which basically means that all of our volunteers come from the high school programs, and it's a site-based program. Pre-COVID, it was within your schools, but now because of COVID restrictions, we have taken the program virtual. So I do all the hosting and coordinating for the virtual program.
Okay, for those of you who may have not heard of Big Brothers Big Sisters or have heard of us, but we're never quite fully sure what we do, we are a mentoring organization, meaning that we pair either adult or high school age mentors with elementary or middle school age children. So specifically today, we'll be talking about our high school BIGS program. We do have other program options. So if anyone is interested in learning more about those after today, you're certainly can feel free to reach out to either Kristen or myself for more information. But as a mentoring organization, we really consider ourselves to be defenders of potential, meaning that we strongly believe that all the children in our program have enormous potential, and that our role as mentors is really to defend it and help them reach that full potential. So we're located in East Allentown. That picture looks like it's a church, but it's actually Big Brothers Big Sisters. We've been housed there in 2016. We own the building. On the first floor is our office space. And then on the bottom floor is our youth mentoring center, where some of our matches meet and we host some of our various programs. So if you're ever in the neighborhood, certainly feel free to stop by, ring our doorbell, and check us out. We're always willing to give a tour. So at this point, I will go ahead and turn it over to Kristen to talk more about the high school BIGS programming.
Thank you, Maggie. So as I said, pre-COVID times, elementary school students would be paired in a one-to-one mentoring match with a high school student. So in Bethlehem, the volunteers are either coming from Liberty High School or Freedom High School. Volunteers typically join the program in either 9th through 11th grade, and then they're matched with the student in the elementary level on any grades, typically starting the program kindergarten through 4th. We don't typically enroll 5th graders or seniors into the program because of longevity. We like to have our matches to have enough time to develop that relationship. We have our in-person programs. We're at Governor Wolf, Lincoln, and Thomas Jefferson. And the matches, the volunteers would come into the school either during the school day, which was typical for Governor Wolf and Thomas Jefferson, or after school, which is part of the Lincoln after school program. It really depended on the school and the availability of the day. And then obviously, because of COVID restrictions, October 1st kickstarted our virtual programming. And with that, we decided it was a great opportunity for us to open up our program to all elementary age students in Bethlehem School District. So any student in grades K through 4 across the district is welcome to join. One thing we want them to know, though, is due to wherever their school is, they might not have the opportunity to meet in person at their school if things go back to normal. But we'll do our best to try to like Maggie said, we possibly could host, we have a new beautiful STEM lab at our mentoring center that we are looking to host possible in-person safe meetings for our matches. We all live in the community as well. So I've also told matches, once it is safe, if it's possible to meet up at a park where we can be outside and safely distance. But we are taking, the COVID precautions very seriously during this time. And there's one of our new matches, Cesar, and thank you. You probably recognize them. So what does virtual mentoring look like? So it's a different world. It's definitely not, it's different than what you would normally see in a one-to-one in-person meeting, but we've really come up with a really nice program. We ask that the matches commit to meeting 1 to 2 times a month. And then the programs are very structured and they're supervised typically by myself. The programs are an hour long, ranging from, and we do different things each program. There is a program every week of the month on a different day and a different time, in hopes that we can accommodate everyone's schedules in some capacity throughout the month. And like I said, they are very structured. So for the first 10 to 15 minutes, we do a large group activity. We play some kind of game all together. We've read stories together. We've watched videos. So I try to keep it to a theme. For example, in January, we're doing a lot of winter stuff. Next week on the 20th, we have a program where we're going to celebrate the inauguration all together. And then once we're done with our large group activity, I put the matches into breakout rooms where they have one-on-one time to do things that they really like. We've had matches go on yoga adventures using Cosmic Kids Yoga. The matches really love art for kids, and they get to draw together. As you can see, some of them are holding up their pictures on this slide. So I do provide the matches with what I call a toolbox of different activities to do when they are meeting in their breakout rooms. I don't ever want to match or a big, especially to be like, I don't know what to do with this child in this virtual setting, because it is new and we are all still learning. So I've found a lot of creative ideas of things to do. And as you can see in this picture, everyone seems pretty happy. Every month we do also have a larger kind of special program where matches can win gift cards for participating. There's often like come dressed in holiday attire. We have a winter program at the end of the month, and I'm going to ask everyone to wear their favorite winter hat just for something fun to do to get everyone excited to join. I send the information out to the families every month and to my volunteers at the end of every month with it's almost like a newsletter with updates, and there's always a sign up link that is available for them to use to sign up. Matches don't have communication with each other outside of program, so we don't share any personal information between the volunteer and the families. I kind of act as that liaison, as that bridge to help bring the matches together each month. Then again, I went over this. This is kind of in depth, some more matches, some more smiling faces, kind of what it looks like when they are in their breakout rooms together. And then what happens when schools are fully open again? We hope that, we can continue with any new in-person matches at Governor Wolf, Thomas Jefferson, and Lincoln. But other matches, we are hoping to be able to keep the virtual program going for as long as they may need to in order to keep their relationship going. And then as I also mentioned, we have our mentoring center where we are hoping to host special events. We do periodically. We've already had one STEM night. I believe that was in November. And so we're hoping to do more of those in the coming year with different activities and opportunities for the matches to have in-person meetings. And how do you know if the program is a good fit for my child? So we've all adapted to this new virtual world. So the biggest thing is knowing, is your child comfortable with a virtual platform? If they are just burnt out by sitting in front of a computer all day, if they have trouble logging on and participating, it might not be the best program for them. But if they are, eager to be able to socialize with someone and they are able to get on Zoom and you're able to help them, this could be something really great for them. Like I said, it's only 1 to 2 times a month, we're asking for matches to meet for an hour.
Oh,
But we do need the parents' assistance helping the children log into Zoom. I feel like something that we are
yeah.
kind of lacking is the families. We're not on Google Classroom. So the families do need to provide the Zoom link to the children for them to get on. And we do ask that the children and the volunteers commit to meeting for 1 full calendar year. And that's just so they do have the opportunity to develop that really strong mentoring relationship. It's very helpful for children who would benefit from another friend, a positive role model, and to help with emotional skills, especially during this time of COVID, where they're not necessarily able to see all of their friends and to interact like they used to. And then if you are interested in enrolling your child, you can reach out directly to me at the email that's listed. You can also reach out to your school liaison and they can help put you in touch with me as well. We have taken our whole program virtually. So the application is we do that through DocuSign. It's completely virtual. We'll do a phone orientation, and then we'll also do an interview over Zoom at a mutually convenient time. We'll meet over Zoom, and I'll get to know your child a little bit because one thing I like to point out is that we don't match based upon a list. So I wouldn't say, oh, here's my next child, here's the next big in line, let's just put them together and hope it works out. We do this enrollment process so that we can make really mindful matches and match children with volunteers that they have something in common with, and they can really develop that friendship with each other. And we focus on making the mindful matches. We have big sisters, several big sisters that are ready and waiting to be matched. So it could happen fairly quickly. It can take a few weeks to get through the enrollment process. But once that happens, once the interview happens, we start looking to identify a big immediately in order to get the match up and running and joining us for virtual program as soon as possible. And then if any questions, we'd be happy to answer. Yes, Heather.
It said you have to sign up for a year. Is there a time, like after a year, or can this, once that relationship is built, can it go on longer? If my child's only in first grade, I don't want a new person every year, or.
Yes. So that's another thing that we kind of do through enrollment. I like to tease. I'm like, oh, when you sign up, especially that young, we really want to keep you through your years. Like no, we're gonna last through your whole elementary career. So we would, in hopes. Now with first grade, we would do our best to put your child with either a sophomore or a freshman, depending on the availability and the interest and who we have, like the bigs that we have waiting, and so that they can continue through. We find that especially in Bethlehem, the volunteers, they come in and they don't want to do it just for 1 year. They want to transition through the rest as long as they possibly can. And then once you hit the year, you don't have to go through this enrollment again. You're grandfathered in, and like I said, you're able to kind of continue with your match as long as the volunteer is also able to continue. Any other questions?
When they meet in person at the school, if we would ever next year we go back,
Yeah.
What kind of supervision is when they're together?
So Lincoln is great. We have been working with Lincoln for several years, and Mrs. Snyder is the after school coordinator. So she is there with the matches. The volunteers, they meet in the cafeteria. That's where they typically start. They kind of typically stay there. They're allowed to go into the communities and schools office for games. We encourage them to bring games, stuff from home, plan to do homework. And if there's availability, they're able then at a certain point to go into the gym as well to have some time running around. Is your child at Lincoln, Heather? So they're not allowed outside. They're not allowed kind of going through the schools. Sometimes there's availability in different areas like the library, but it always has to be approved and asked. And then once in a while we'll pop in. Once we do match a child, we don't just match the children and then kind of disappear. Even if they are meeting in person, we do something that we call match support. And basically match support is we check in with the volunteer, the child, and the parents periodically just to make sure the friendship is developing appropriately. We check on safety issues, but we also, when they are matched, let the children and the families know that they can reach out to us at any time with any kind of concerns that they might have about their match or the volunteer or child that they're working with. Safety is definitely our number one priority. Any other questions? Anything else I can clear up? Well, thank you guys. Thanks everyone for joining. If you do have any questions after this, you can feel free to reach out to me directly and I'll be happy to help you. You can also, your liaison at their school can help you get in contact with me. Most understand the program as well. We've all worked together, I feel like, in some capacity. So they'll be able to help you as well. I'm always here, in any way that I can.